Hey plant pets, welcome back to my channel where we talk about plants in the style of ASMR. Today I have an unboxing, obviously. Four plants that I got off of Facebook in a purge from the group Plant Purge USA. Two of them are relatively common plants, and two of them are on the more uncommon side. They've been in the mail a couple days longer than they ordinarily would be due to shipping delays. So I'm really hoping they're okay. looks like they have labeled everything and wrapped them in plastic. I'm a little nervous about the plastic, to be honest, so fingers crossed. Hey again, welcome back to the same video but a different day, because my camera died while I was filming that unboxing. So now it's turned into a haul and I will show you what I unboxed off camera. You might notice that there are only 3 plants here, and that's because the 4th is in my terrarium, so I will take you over there and show you in a few minutes. So this is a Pilea peperomioides, also known as the Chinese money plant, and it's looking a bit more sad and droopy than it did when I first unboxed it, and I can tell it needs a little bit of water because when I pinch the leaves like this, they're a little bit flexible. They have some give to them. They don't feel like they're gonna snap. So that's one, different from how it arrived, and 2, just a common way to check certain species or genera of plants to see if they need water. Let's get it watered because I think it needs it, but this cashpo that I have it in has a drainage hole in it, so I want to use one of these other ones that has a water catch at the bottom, just so I don't make a mess, just so I don't make more of a mess. Now this is my 3rd time trying this plant. You might ask why I'm trying again a 3rd time. One, because I really want to have one of these, a healthy one of these, because they're so cute, and when they get really large, they're very stunning. They grow kind of like upright as a tree, and then all of these circular leaves like pop out as like to form a canopy, and it produces lots and lots of little babies around the base. So I really want one, and I don't want to invest a lot in a fully grown large one since I've already killed 2 smaller ones like this. And the reason I'm trying it again, aside from just wanting one to work for me, is because the first 2 I got 2 summers in a row, last summer and the summer before. I got the plant right before I went away for a week, and most of my plants are fine if I go away for a week, but this one I don't think had acclimated to my home yet. It was in a room that I think got a little bit too hot, and so it completely wilted and was dead by the time I got home, and I probably could have tried to regrow it. I could have just started with the stump and grown it from there, but I was overwhelmed and mad at myself for having let it die. So I am trying again with this guy, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I think most of the water has drained out by now. Yeah, good. Yeah, okay, so we'll put him back in his little terracotta to dry. And so this is the Pilea peperomioides. Ta-da! The second one, and the one that I was keeping in here, is an Anthurium Big Red Bird, which I had not heard of until the seller was offering them. This is a very, 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 very tiny specimen. I think it was grown in a 2-inch pot, so I've given it a bit of an upgrade into the 4-inch, and hopefully it doesn't mind that. But it eventually will grow tall, the leaves will get big, and it eventually forms kind of like a bird nest type shape with its leaves. And I think that it grows really crazy roots around the base that kind of stick up out of the soil a little bit. At least the pictures I've seen on Instagram show it that way. So it's very small, but it was a really good price. It was under $10, and some of the harder to come by Anthurium are usually much more than that. So I'm excited about this one, and we'll see how it grows. Give you a little aerial view there. This is the pot I'd like to transplant it into eventually someday. This is the reason I bought from this seller initially, and then the other plants were impulse add-ons. This was a $10 purchase. This is Anthurium fingers. And it might not look like much right now, but look at this newest leaf. It's a little bit, it must have just unfurled because it's still a little bit curly, but I think you can see why it's called fingers. It kind of looks like a hand, right? The shape of a hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers all splayed out. These guys can get huge and look just really cool and impressive. I love plants with interesting leaf shapes. A lot of aroids fit that description, but this one in particular has always intrigued me, and I've always wanted one. They can be a little bit more expensive though, so I hadn't bit the bullet. Oh, that's gonna be a mess. Yep, the water's running out the basin, and it's gonna go all over the table, but you know what? I can clean the table. No problem. No problem, no problem. So this is Anthurium fingers. Fingers, 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 fingers. Fingers, fingers, fingers. Fingers, fingers, fingers. And now let's head over to the terrarium so I can show you the fourth plant I got. So here's the terrarium, which you remember from a video not that long ago, although this might look significantly different than it did in the video. I've done a lot to it since then. For one thing, I redid the rock wall. I took out some of the plants and added some new plants, and I took cuttings of these bigger begonias because they were growing out of control and way too big for the area, so I took cuttings and they're starting to grow back and they look really nice. But the plant that I got in the unboxing, and which I added in here, is this small leaf plant right here that you can see is just kind of vining and creeping everywhere. This is a Pilea glauca, or Pilea aquamarine. And I love the texture that it adds. I love that it's low growing, so it won't, climb higher and interfere with some of the mid-range plants we have going on here. But it'll stay there near the bottom, and it'll continue to vine and creep and grow and fill out there on top of some of the sphagnum moss. I don't think it'll interfere with some of the other plants we have growing down here, like the polka dot plant there you can see, and another Pilea Moon Valley. Cryptanthus right here. I think it looks really nice. It's subtle, but it adds some texture and depth that I really like. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.